All right. I'm very curious about this one. Maxie in Memphis, what in the world is a Christian atheist?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
just taking you off speaker to make sure y'all can hear me fine.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
A Christian, okay, a Christian atheist. I mean, it's not a well. Uh, Usually I say a Christian non-theist, the term that I took from John Shelby Spong. I used to say Christian agnostic, but Christian atheist also works. Christian atheist means that I don't believe in the existence of anything supernatural. In fact, I'm tempted to say that I disbelieve in the existence of supernatural things, uh, but at any rate, I do find validity for me, and that prepositional phrase is important. I do find validity for me in the tradition of Christianity.
Okay.
Which part? Which tradition of Christianity?
Well, I mean, I discard large parts of it. I mean, I obviously don't believe in I don't believe in the resurrection. I don't believe in the virgin birth. I don't believe in the Exodus.
Okay.
Okay. But say Christian thought is part of an evolution of moral thought that has been going on for quite some time.
Okay.
And I will freely say that large parts of that evolution, large points in that evolution are utter immoral crap.
Right. So, Maxie, I'm going to try and get to the core of this and make it quicker because I think I can. You believe that it sounds like you're saying Christianity represents the world or that part of the world. They had a certain moral framework, and then Christianity's moral framework has evolved as humanity has evolved, and you sort of believe in that tradition of the evolving moral framework. Is that correct?
Yeah, it works.
All right,
for
great.
me.
What is the thing that pushes the evolution of that moral framework?
It's the evolution of moral thought. Okay. It's the evolution of moral thought.
Right.
For example. All right.
Right. So what's happening? People are getting together. They're evaluating against what? Something like human well-being, equality, empathy, those characteristics. And they're going, hey, our old things that said slavery is fine. That was wrong. That was wrong.
I'm not going to engage you on slavery because slavery is wrong.
No. I'm not saying you're. Okay. Then we're agreeing. I think I'm steelmanning your point here. I'm trying to say your point because I've interacted with people. And by the way, I'm sympathetic to your point. Before I give my sort of not contrary point, but my complementary point. So hang on. Let me just restate it, Maxie. The Bible did endorse slavery. The Christian worldview definitely endorsed slavery, but the Christian worldview has since, in most places, evolved through the things we were talking about, right? Through people getting together, evaluating well-being, evaluating on a basis of empathy, evaluating on this idea of making a society that's best for everybody. And while it's not gotten perfect, right? Christian states still very much support, prisons, which is what America's currently doing slavery through. But it's not perfect, but it has evolved. Can we say that that's all correct? True?
I would say that's pretty much true.
Cool. So here's the point I was trying to make to you, Maxie. You believe in this tradition and basically it sounds like you are a fond observer of watching the tradition as reflected by humanity change and morph over time and go, hey, within the Christian framework, we were able to evolve even on slavery, which was basically a pivotal doctrine at one point. You don't have to agree on that, but
slavery was never a pivotal doctrine. It was
that's absurd. That's absurd, but we won't argue on that one.
No.
Maxie.
It was never a pivotal.
Yes, it was. Yes, it fucking was. Jesus mentions it. Jesus mentions it. It came out of Jesus's mouth on top of how much time was given to it in the Bible. But fine.
No, because the character of Jesus who appears in the gospel is mostly mythological.
Yes,
So,
Maxie, so is the doctrine. Holy shit. Maxie, fine. Let's get rid of slavery.
and anyway,
Maxie,
that's not
Maxie,
what
hang
I-
on, hang on, hang on,
No.
hang on. Hang the fuck on, because it's not important to the point. So we'll just drop slavery out. We'll just not worry about slavery. The Christian moral framework has evolved as people have gotten together and applied empathy, applied this concept of well-being, and all of this stuff, and you have liked, and you sort of say you want to associate with that tradition of evolution from that part of the world as it comes through your part of the world, and that evolution of moral framework without taking on the literal claims. Again, I'm dropping the slavery thing for you. I still think you're wrong, but it doesn't matter to the argument. All the stuff, if I take the slavery thing out, is correct, right?
I would agree, pretty much agree. I would agree with most of that, but what is your point?
My point is, Maxie, why associate with the moral framework that has evolved rather than the mechanism that evolved it when the existing tradition is actually what slowed down that evolution? Secular humanism prioritizes it is basically the thing that evolved this Christian tradition is basically the center of secular humanism. It is the thing,
Okay.
It is the well-being principle. It is that applying empathy and stuff. And if people had just prioritized that from the get-go and not gone, okay, we want to have a conversation now. How do we do this, but also keep it biblical? We would have had a much faster transition out of it. So if you want to say traditionally, I come from a Christian traditional family, I want to celebrate Christmas with them and all that stuff, fine, most atheists do that. But why you would want to call yourself an atheist
confused.
Christian?
I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas with my family.
Fine. Whatever.
There's like very little that I can think of only one thing I like about Christmas. I mean, most of Christmas is abhorrent.
It was only for example. It wasn't a thing that was directed at you as a thing you're accepting.
However, that is not what I call to talk about.
The thing about being a Christian atheist was what I was asking. And so now I'm asking you, why identify with that instead of prioritizing the mechanism that is the actual thing you admire?
Because what matters to me is I really don't care what people believe, mostly because what people believe is unverifiable. I can never really know what someone else believes. You can only know how they behave. I only care what people do.
Yes, I agree. I genuinely okay. I do care what people believe. Hang on.
No, may I speak?
In a moment.
Because I listen.
In a moment, you can. I do care what people believe. I'm responding to the last thing you just said. I do care what people believe. However, as far as my day-to-day life and my social interactions go, as long as a person is consistent with secular humanism, which I think is the superior philosophy, then I don't spend a lot of time. I don't try to pull progressive Christians out as hard as I try to pull out other kinds of Christians. Now, the thing you wanted to add after that, go ahead.
The reason I call it is that I think that the attitude and the demeanor that you take with a lot of callers, particularly the callers who need to be persuaded, is counterproductive.
Great. Go make a better show. Thank you for wasting all of that time for the actual good conversation to tone police. Go make the better show. Goodbye. Fuck off. I don't give a fuck what you. I don't think I do it better than anybody in the world. I do know it's effective. I have lots of evidence to the fact that it's effective. You have evidence of the fact that it was effective in this very show where people at the beginning of their calls talked about how helpful the show is. But I suspect that there are people capable of being better at it than me, better at it than Matt. Don't let Matt know that I said that. Better at it than Forrest. Forrest is about as good as a biology communicator as I've ever come across, but conceivably there could be a better one out there. You're welcome. Go do it. I'm going to keep doing my way because it's the way that I can do. It's the way I feel comfortable doing. It morphs, it changes. But if you can do it better, and I'm not saying this as a dismissive, fine, if you can do it better, then go do it better. I literally mean, if you can do it better, I'm begging you to do it better. I want there to be more people in the space. I don't want to have, look, do I enjoy that we have the #1 Sunday call-in show on atheism and theism? Well, arguably, not even just Sunday, just the #1 watched and interacted with? Yeah, I like that. I enjoy it. Would I be delighted if somebody better at it than us beat us at it? Fuck yeah. I'd also be devastated if we just got some like atheist Ben Shapiro's or something to do. If it was actually people worse than us, that would frustrate the fuck out of me. I don't care if you think it's counterproductive, because I actually can measure the amount of productivity, how productive it is to some degree. Go do it better. If you do it better enough, I'll probably just hire you. I'll probably just send you a buyout offer or bring you on and give you a better audience. Just go do it better. Hello, I'm Jimmy Snow, Pokemon Master and Executive Producer on The Line. Would you like to support a specific show on The Line or The Line in general? There are special tiers on our Patreon and in our channel memberships. You can do just that. By the way, you could consider leaving a super thanks down below. You could also like, subscribe, and leave a regular comment. All of these are great. Now, I'm going to get back to crushing loneliness, but while I do that, why don't you check out one of these?